In this video, I'm going to share with you 5 training tips that I wish I knew earlier that would have helped me to progress faster in the gym. These tips are, number 1, using machines and taking advantage of their ability to fill some roles that free weight struggle to do. Number 2, incorporating lifting straps to make sure that grip isn't a limiting factor when training other muscles. Number 3, letting the knees travel over the toes during squats for improved muscle stimulus and better overall mobility. Number 4, realizing that you don't have to be so worried about form breakdown, especially in the last 1 to 2 reps of a set when we're trying to maximize stimulus. And number 5, focusing too much on soreness as a measure of whether a workout is effective or not. So that's everything covered. If you have enough information already, then I'll see you in the next video. But if you want to stick around, then we can go into more detail about each point. I used to think that if it wasn't a barbell or a dumbbell, that it didn't count. But machines are actually super useful, especially for building strength safely and isolating specific muscles. They remove balance and coordination factor, so you can focus purely on effort. Don't get me wrong, I still think free weights are great for building strength and can be incredibly versatile, especially when you don't have a lot of equipment on hand. However, some machines also can't be replicated with free weight movement. So when it comes to targeting specific muscle groups, they can actually be the best choice if they're available. Lifting straps will allow you to maintain a solid grip on movements like heavy rows and RDLs where grip strength can be a limiting factor. A lot of people will tell you that you shouldn't use lifting straps because you want your grip to get stronger. And while that may be true, it would be much more efficient to train grip strength separately rather than training it when trying to target other muscle groups. Whatever muscle you're trying to train during the movement should be the limiting factor. So, if I'm doing Romanian deadlifts to target my glutes and my hamstrings, then I don't want my grip to be the first thing to give up. Use lifting straps if you need them, especially when you're not focusing on training grip strength. You can always train your grip strength with more specific movements at another time. You may have been told in the past to not let your knees go past your toes, especially when squatting and lunging. This is certainly something that I believe to be true when I started strength training, but for most people, this is generally not the case. There's a common misconception that strength training will make you stiff or not very flexible, but this is only true when we don't access our full range of motion, such as not going deep on squats. If your mobility allows it and you feel no pain, then most of the time you should be aiming to squat as deep as you can. This will allow you to maintain or even improve your mobility and potentially stimulate more muscle growth. Maintaining good form when you're lifting weights is vital for stimulating the right muscles and lowering injury risk, especially if you're new to lifting. And while you should always aim to keep form as good as possible, it can be quite limiting to only ever allow yourself to perform reps that look picture perfect. The truth is that if we're trying to push our bodies to grow stronger and build muscle, then eventually we need to start taking our sets closer to failure. And seeing some technique breakdown can be a pretty good indicator that we're pushing ourselves enough for our bodies to receive the stimulus to adapt. This does require some judgment on you or your coach's part to figure out what's safe and acceptable in terms of how much form breakdown you allow. Because if every single rep in your set is looking messy, then you might be exceeding your capacity too much. But generally, if only the last 1 or 2 reps are starting to show some form breakdown, then that's probably okay for most people. It's always better to ease yourself into it. So start the first few weeks further away from failure if you're new to a movement. And you can start to push yourself more as you get more confident. A lot of trainees love the feeling of soreness after a tough workout, mainly because they end up associating it with the idea that they're training effectively. The problem is, as the weeks progress, soreness will typically dissipate, and people start to believe that they're not training as effectively as they were in the beginning. The truth is that soreness doesn't actually have anything to do with whether or not exercises are more or less effective. Mostly, it's just an indicator of how familiar our bodies are with the exercises. The reduction of soreness as the weeks progress in a training program is known as the repeated bout effect, and it's very likely to happen regardless of how hard you're pushing yourself or how effective your training is. So, try not to dwell on how sore you are after every training session and focus on other metrics to track progress like training volume, load, etc. Thanks for watching. Hopefully, some of these tips help you to get started or continue on your training journey. If you enjoyed the video, then don't forget to subscribe to our channel. It helps us out a lot and we're able to put out more content like this in the future. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.